Before we even get to the politics on the Hill, let me ask you, because I know you are a member of the subcommittee on the environment, and you're in California. Granted, you're San Jose and that sort of central California area. But when it comes to seeing this kind of thing affecting the shoreline of California, what's your reaction to that?
Alex, as a Californian, as an American, it's just devastating. And it's why there are 54 of us in the House who are pushing, saying, let's end the subsidies to big oil and gas companies. Right now, they actually get special treatment, better terms than renewable energy or any other industry in increasing drilling in oil. We're seeing the consequences firsthand over and over again of our over-reliance on fossil fuels. And we need to end those subsidies. Yeah. OK. Well, we'll leave it at there for this particular conversation on that topic. Let me ask you about fellow Democrats, notably Kirsten Sinema in the Senate. There was a scathing rebuke of what her potential motives might be from John Yarmuth earlier on MSNBC. I want you to listen to what he had to say about it and then get your reaction to the other side. Here we go.
I have no idea. You know, I served with Kirsten Sinema. She spent most of her time in the House talking with Republicans. The only time she ever talked to us was to ask us for money. So I've never really understood what she's wanted. I know she has a sincere interest in helping deal with climate change, but that's the only agenda item I've heard.
Do you, based on her communication around these two bills in particular, do you also not understand what she exactly wants? I mean, do you think she's working on principle? Do you think this is politics? What is this about the pushback that she has offered?
Alex, no one knows. I mean, John Yarmuth is one of the most mild-mannered people in Congress. Everyone likes him. And so for him to say this, and it's vindicated. I mean, you look at the Saturday Night Live skit last night, and they're asking the same thing. What is it that she wants? I have respect for Senator Manchin. We disagree on some issues, but very clear on what he wants. And I guess what we're asking Senator Sinema to do is say, what are you for? What are you against? Are you against the child care? Are you against every American getting universal kindergarten, preschool? Are you against seniors getting dental and vision so that they can actually go see a dentist? Are you against bold investments in climate change? You say you're for climate change, but are you willing to put the money in the renewable energy? So just give us a plan. What are you for? What are you against?
Well, look, it may seem like we're piling on Kirsten Sinema right now, but to your point, it's hard to know where she stands on something. She's not being that clear about it, but she did release a statement. Here's part of what she said in that one. She says, my commitment to delivering lasting results is also why I have engaged for months in direct good faith negotiations over the separate budget reconciliation proposal. Good faith negotiations, however, require trust. So are progressives not putting enough trust in their moderate colleagues throughout this entire situation? I mean, do you genuinely believe, if you'd voted for infrastructure last week, that moderates would leave reconciliation hanging?
Well, I believe that the president didn't want that. The president has been very clear and was explicit finally Friday that he wants both bills to pass simultaneously. They're both part of his agenda. So progressives were just standing up for what this White House wanted. If the White House wanted infrastructure to pass separately, they could have done that. They could have started calling progressives. The speaker could have started whipping on that. I didn't get a single call from the White House, from the speaker, from the majority leader. So the vast majority of the caucus has understood this. I think there were a few who were under a misguided impression that the White House or the speaker somehow wanted infrastructure to pass. And they've obviously now seen the reality with the president being very explicit on Friday.
Okay. So what about this? Your Democratic colleague, Josh Gottheimer, one of the leading moderates throughout all of this, has also put out a statement after the infrastructure bill was delayed. And he says we cannot let this small faction on the far left, who employ Freedom Caucus tactics, as described by the New York Times today, destroy the president's agenda and stop the creation of 2 million jobs a year. I imagine you want to respond to that.
Well, Josh is someone who I've actually worked with. He negotiates. I understand it's got to be a frustrating moment for him. But again, here you have a consensus between the president of the United States, the Senate majority leader, the speaker of the House, and 95% of Democrats. In the Freedom Caucus's case, whatever you think of them, they were actually taking on the speaker of their own party, the president of their own party. We're in alignment with the party leadership. So you can criticize our position as too expensive or taxes are going up too much on the wealthy, or we don't want to spend this much money on the working class. But in terms of just the tactics and the procedure, people should be very clear. We are behind the president's agenda. 90% of the mainstream Democratic Party wants this. And those who are opposed to it, I think, have the obligation to explain why that's the case.
So the talk now seems to be pretty much focused on the top line number for the reconciliation package, one that can unify the party. So take a listen to what Senator Tina Smith told me yesterday.
What we should do is build up from what we need to do, what we want to do, and then come to an agreement on what that number is. It's not going to be 3.5. I think we know that. What that final number is going to be part of the negotiations.
She said it right there. It's not going to be $3.5 trillion. Is that acceptable to you? Do you have a bottom line?
Yes. No, I think Senator Tina Smith is exactly right in her approach. Let's put what we're for, the proposals. Let's add them up. Let's see where other people are opposed, and let's compromise and come to a number. And I trust the president's judgment. If he says, look, Raul, here's a fair compromise, and he says that to the progressives, my guess is a lot of the progressives will be on board as long as all the stakeholders were part of that discussion.
Do you think it's important that the president get out there this week? I know he's beginning in Michigan on Tuesday to say to the American people, here's what's in this bill. Here's how it's going to affect your life and benefit your life, to his way of thinking, and yours as well. Do you think that's really the approach to take now?
Yes, because by definition, the party has no better messenger in places that voted for Trump and now have voted for Democrat. The president understands Scranton, Pennsylvania. He understands communities that have been left behind. He beat Donald Trump in those communities. And I think him going to those communities and saying this is about restoring hope, this is about restoring opportunity in those places, this is about restoring dignity and pride, I think that message will resonate, and he is a perfect messenger for it. So I'm glad that he's going to be out there.
Nancy Pelosi said Halloween's going to get done. Do you agree?
Well, the speaker is usually correct in these things. Here's what I say. It will get done for sure. I don't know whether it's going to be, like this president said, the next couple weeks, whether it'll be October 31st, whether it'll be a few weeks later. But the important thing, Alex, is that we get it right. I mean, look at what we're trying to do. We're finally going to give every kid in this country the opportunity for preschool. In France, they've been doing that for years. Every 3-year-old gets universal education. We're finally going to give seniors the chance to say, look, you can go to a dentist. You can go get your hearing aids. We're finally going to say to people who are juggling 2 jobs that they have some help in raising their kids. These are big ideas that we've been pushing for 30 years. And you know what? If we have to wait another 2 months to get them, fine.
Okay. California Congressman Khanna, let's just hope it gets done by Halloween, though, because it's going to get kind of scary covering all of it if it doesn't. All right. Thanks, my friend. Have a good one.